Greetings everyone, welcome to my sketchbook. Well, looks like I haven't flipped this page over yet. So you can imagine, I have another idea, which I kind of thought of as I was finishing up drawing this stuff yesterday. Well, I have these two figures using black ink, these two fish and a seahorse and some seagrass and in Barbados blue ink. Well, what's left? Well, what's left is, well, I mean, there's lots of stuff left. I'm going to use this stuff, which is Ferris Wheel Press. This is awesome. I believe this is called Royal Rhubarb, and this is a pretty cool color. I'm going to get this old nib, which is really neat if it'll focus on that. Come on now, technology. Come on, technology. It's like it really wants to see what's going on. Anyway, so this is really neat. I like this kind of stuff. Yeah, anyway. So we're going to use this. We're going to use some of this ink, and we're going to do something else. And hopefully then, I mean, like I do have lots of other inks, but I think that'll be enough. So we're going to open this up and let's get to work. So that's so cool. All right, well, let's zoom in. We'll try to lock it down in some way. Let's go kind of to this distance. I'm going to go right here anyway. So, and hopefully I'll not have things get all blurry like I did with the last video where I don't really watch this stuff. So we'll keep this from rotating. If it'll, yeah, okay, here we go. Well, we're gonna dip in. And we're gonna see what horrible things can happen. So I'm going to try to draw more fish-like eyes, but this is not going to be a fish. So it's fun. Like I get weird little ideas after the fact, and I'm okay with that, honestly enough. The process itself of just doing things, well, it can change. And you know what? Sometimes it's fun to come up with ideas, fill out a whole other page. That's fine too. But in my sketchbook, I can kind of do what I feel like doing anyway. Now, I don't want this creature to seem super angry or anything like that, but it may come out that way. I like to think of it being more playful than anything else. How about that? I'm going to keep this nearby for dipping's sake. There's going to be a lot of scratching. Let's move this up just a little bit too. Do another one kind of like right here. Maybe you can kind of see what I'm up to. So now let's see. It's going to have 8 legs, although we're not really going to get to see all of them. It was when I made the comment about Jules Verne and, you know, 20,000 Leagues. I kind of thought about, well, this might be kind of interesting. So much like your hands, there's webbing that kind of flows over the skin, or the tentacles, I should say, of each of these arms. What's that, Neville? I don't know if you heard Neville in the background there. It's my buddy's checking in on me. He's a good buddy to have in the morning, just to let me know what's going on and not to get too caught up in too much stuff. Now, some part of these tentacles here I'm going to have twisted in other places, but I think the main part of what I got going on here is going to be kind of behind, but we'll see how this goes. I'm kind of making this up as I go. So we got kind of like one back here. 1, 2, 3, 4. I don't know if I need to have all 5 of them visible, but I do want to have a bunch showing. So down below there, I'll have another one. I don't know if you can see that. I have to remember that some parts of this might twist a little bit, so that we're going to have those suckers showing. Let's go with one right here. Mm-hmm. 1, 2, 3, 4. So I kind of have something going on, let's say back here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Let's have one kind of spilling out over here and behind. Like that. All right, so here's going to be the fun part. I'm going to add some sort of texture to these arms because I'm actually going to bring out a little bit of water. And we'll add kind of like some flesh to this and some shading and whatever else. I think immediately, let's add some of these suckers. Have this sort of twist out. Just a little bit. Works its way in behind, and then we'll go to there. Let's see. This will have it twist a little bit here so that some of them show. Then it'll twist there too, let's say. Then underneath here. Okay. Kind of more of the same here. Now I'll go back and revisit some of these. Now it's funny. I don't know how many of you have eaten calamari. I'm not really a big fan, mainly because I don't really like squid very much. Now I know some people do. I think it's pretty rare that people would eat an octopus, though. I don't think that's really something that people do. I'm sure somebody's given it a shot, though, but no, calamari is like definitely squid. I mean, they're pretty intelligent creatures as well, though. So I don't know if I would recommend consuming such a wondrous creature. Okay, a little bit behind the seagrass, and then we'll be kind of ready for the next stage. Maybe in some way I look at these creatures in my head in a comparable way as maybe like, maybe elephants. You know, like they're very intelligent, and yeah, maybe that's kind of where I picture it in my head, just for doodle's sake. Well, the next thing that's going to happen here, as soon as I finish up some of these tentacles and their related little suckers, this one here is kind of almost saluting. I want this to be a little bit darker there and a little bit darker there, because I need this to sort of separate a little bit differently. Okay. All right. Well, let's see what we can do now. I'm going to set this aside. Next, cup and water with a brush. And we're going to add a little bit of dimension and shading and that sort of thing to it. Now, I'll go back in and I'll probably darken a few things, but for the most part, I think we're ready to go. All right, here we are. I'm going to start around the eye here. moving this around a little bit. What a remarkable creature. I remember watching some program where it talked about an octopus basically working so hard at escaping constantly, but just kind of for fun, just testing out things, security. It seemed kind of interesting. Learn how to take the lid off of jars. Very intelligent creature. I think there was like maybe a Netflix show. I think it was called like My Teacher the Octopus or My Octopus Teacher or something like that. So this is neat. This is the first time that I've done this with this pen. I'm going to do it with this ink. I was kind of drawing out some of the other inks back here in the shadow. It's all right. I can live with that. Let's do a little bit here. And then for the suckers, and maybe I'll run a line sort of between the set of them. But I want them to kind of be very much pale in comparison. Okay. Keep the eyes kind of pale too. So it's funny, last weekend, I believe the forecast for where I am, they were kind of expecting yesterday to be possibly a day of getting a bunch more snow, and that didn't happen. It was a rainy day. So the days are getting warmer, which makes me wonder what we're going to get for summer. So that could be wild. But today was a very much chillier day. Sorry, yesterday was very much a chillier day. But past couple of days have been pretty nice. I don't know what today's supposed to be like. I didn't check what it'll end up being. And as I said, between these suckers, let's put just like a little strip of color smudging. You know what? I think these should have a little bit of shading, because that's sort of the back ones. Same with this one. And let's do the top of the head of this creature as soon as we finish up some more of the arms. another idea. I have another idea. Trying to drag some of this color away from the lines that I did here. I can always add more, of course, but try to avoid some of the black ink. So I got some in here that looks a little weird, but it's okay if it casts a shadow. Okay. I don't mind this so much. Something kind of fun about that. A little bit more here. Okay. I like it. I'll set this down. A couple of days ago, I made a mistake. Let's see if I can get this to go to it. Not enough room. Right here. And this kind of little bit of a spill. Well, I think it'd be funny to put something there. Let me get out this again here. I didn't plan on this, but we're going to see how this goes. I just need to find a way to do it on camera. All right, I got my pen. Just trying to think of space and all that kind of stuff. So I'm going to draw another fish eye. Which is a dark kind of super pupil. Ooh, that looks fearsome, doesn't it? Uh-huh. Maybe there'd be like another kind of thing going on over here. But you're not really going to see it the same way. This is the greatest cover-up job going on here. Kind of. Now, squid are different than octopus, of course. I believe they have 10, like they have 8 kind of like main leg arm apparatus, and then 2 beyond that are either, I think they're longer. That's I think. What do we got here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We don't have to have it set up that way perfectly, but Try to get something so that it makes a little bit of sense. Something like that. Now, their bodies. Kind of picture like an arrowhead, but not really. I think there's a part of them that kind of is a little wavy, like that. Kind of helps it move along. I don't know why I think it's kind of wavy like that in motion, so I think that's how it kind of would move. Okay, I'm not super upset about that. I'm going to put this aside, put the cover back on this thing here. And get the cup with water and this detailing brush. And we'll do a little bit of waterworks with this. Not tears, of course. What are we at here? We're at 27, almost 28 minutes. Okay. Neville hasn't come back to scream at me. This didn't quite go the way I planned. In my head, at least. But I don't mind this. So 3 parts in 1 page. Well, there you go. Just because I thought it'd be kind of fun for me. Now, during the Inktober, I drew a squid-like creature known as a blooper. So maybe in my head that's where some of the idea for this came from. Come to think of it, I guess I could have drawn a star like Patrick from SpongeBob. That would have been kind of funny. Well, I'm not limited on time. I guess I probably, possibly still could. So we got a squid, got an octopus. It's going to make a little bit of a blurry down here. Okay. For the calamari, which I do believe is just a direct translation of what this creature is as a squid. Okay. right here I think would be an okay spot. Get the ink again. Get the brush. Oh, sorry, get the pen. This Thursday's going weird. Now, a simple enough star. Do I want it to look like Patrick? I don't know if that's necessary. Let's just make a little star. The temptation, of course, is to have the star looking a lot more like Patrick. But I won't. Make sure there's like little nodules and stuff like that. And of course we'll hit this with some water as well, which in some ways is part of my style of just doing stuff. Okay. Get some of this back in there. I think that's not so bad. So you get to hear me set the cup back on my desk. I don't like leaving it on the desk for spilling reasons. Which could happen at any time. But it's just a habit, I suppose, in hopes of not having to create a mess. Really, that's really it. I'm kind of letting it be a little splotchy in certain areas. I think that does it. No need of going really any further. There's other little things that I can do with that. But I don't think we need it. For the sketchbook's sake, let's back this out a little bit. Okay, well that's not so bad. I actually don't mind this so much. Some of this I can revisit, which I can do right now, just quickly. Because I have the pen. So I can darken some of these things that I kind of took away from the drawing with the water and the brush. Let certain things be part of the shade. we got going on here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah. Oh, I think I need to do something to make sure that these eyes still have the detail. Since I took some of that blur away, or I blurred it, I should say, to take some of that detail away. Sometimes the words that come out of my mouth just kind of turn into jumbles while I'm working on stuff. Okay. I'm almost done. I think for some reason I was letting this kind of stay in behind, but I think I need to make sure. All right. All right then, folks, I think that is it. Another longer video, but I think, yeah, I don't really need to go any further than this. I think this is probably more than what I really wanted to do anyway. But sometimes it takes me a little bit to just get to something and say, well, that's enough. And as you can see, I'm still struggling to just put down the pen. I'm putting it down. All right then. Get a quick look at it. This fish I don't know if I care as much about. Seahorse is kind of fun. Have that neat starfish, another fish here. Have an astronaut, seagrass. You have an old-timey diver. You have this really neat octopus. And then down here where I spilt ink a couple of days ago, you have a squid. That's it. Thanks for hanging out. I think I'm actually going to be done with this now. So, well, you know, I mean, look at all the space I have here. Maybe I should get, you know, purple in there, or yellow, or green, or nah. We'll let this be. I think that's been fun enough. All right. That's it. Ciao for now.